Welcome to your deep dive into Agile software development. You've sent us a really interesting mix of articles and notes, and our mission today is to help you get a solid understanding of how Agile works, its key principles, and what sets it apart from the more traditional ways of developing software.
Yeah, it really is a pretty exciting way to develop software.
hmm
Agile is definitely a game changer in how we think about software development,
Agreed.
especially compared to older methods like Waterfall.
Right. Our sources describe Waterfall as a very linear process. You map out all the requirements, then a
Right.
design, then the coding, the testing, and finally the finished product is delivered. But one of the articles pointed out a big risk with this. What happens if a major flaw is discovered or the customer needs change late in the game?
Yeah, that's the problem with Waterfall. It's very rigid. Imagine building a bridge according to a strict plan, only to realize halfway through that it leads to the wrong side of the river. Agile, on the other hand, is all about embracing change and adapting as you go.
So instead of a rigid bridge construction, it's more like navigating a speedboat through a winding river, adjusting course as you encounter obstacles or discover new information.
Yeah, exactly. And that adaptability is rooted in Agile's core values. Your notes emphasize prioritizing individuals and interactions over processes and tools, focusing on working software over comprehensive documentation, collaborating with customers throughout the development process, and responding to change over following a set plan.
So how do those values translate to real-world
Yeah.
benefits?
They lead to better communication within teams, faster delivery of usable software, increased customer satisfaction, and a final product that's much more adaptable to the changing needs of the customer.
Okay. Our sources mentioned a whole bunch of different agile methodologies: Scrum Crystal, DSDM, FTD, Lean XP. It seems like agile is more of an umbrella term, right?
Yeah, Agile is more of a philosophy with many different expressions, you could say.
Yeah.
Each methodology applies Agile principles in its own way, and some are better suited for certain projects than others.
It sounds like we need to break these down one by one. Based on what you sent over, Scrum seems to be the most popular and well-documented methodology. What makes it stand out?
Scrum is favored for its very structured approach. It defines very clear roles and ceremonies to guide the development process.
Okay, let's unpack that. Who are the key players in this Scrum framework?
Well, you have the Scrum Master, who ensures the team is adhering to Scrum principles and removes any obstacles that might be hindering their progress. Then there's the Product Owner, who is the voice of the customer, prioritizing features and ensuring the team delivers actual value to the customer. And of course, there is the Scrum team, which is a self-organizing unit that is responsible for completing sprints.
Sprints, is that like a race to the finish line?
Not exactly a race, more like a focused burst of development. Sprints usually last 2 to 4 weeks, and the goal is to deliver a potentially shippable product increment by the end of every sprint.
So a potentially shippable product increment, does that mean like a fully functional piece of software at the end of each sprint?
Not necessarily fully functional in the sense of a final product, but it does represent a working piece of software that delivers tangible value, even if it doesn't include all of the planned features.
Got it. So it's kind of like building a house, but instead of waiting to unveil the finished house, you're showcasing a completed room at the end of each phase. You get to see progress and make adjustments as you go along.
Yeah.
Now, our sources mention some specific tools that Scrum teams use, like the product backlog and the sprint backlog. What are those all about?
So the product backlog is essentially a prioritized wish list. It's all of the desired features in the final product, compiled by the product owner based on customer needs and business goals. The sprint backlog is a subset of the product backlog. It contains the specific tasks that the team commits to completing during a particular sprint.
So essentially, these backlogs help the team stay organized and focused on delivering value in each sprint.
Exactly. And to ensure everyone is on the same page and moving forward smoothly, Scrum emphasizes daily Scrum meetings. This is where the team discusses progress, identifies any roadblocks, and plans the day's work. Then at the end of each sprint, there are sprint reviews where the team showcases the work to stakeholders and gets feedback, and retrospectives where they reflect on what went well and what could be improved.
It's like a built-in system for continuous feedback and learning, ensuring the project stays on track and the team is constantly improving.
Precisely. Now, while Scrum provides a structured framework for agile development, another popular methodology, extreme programming or XP, takes a bit of a different approach.
All right, let's dive into XP. From what I'm seeing in your material, XP seems to really crank up the customer focus. What makes it so unique?
XP focuses heavily on delivering value to the customer as quickly as possible. through very short development cycles, frequent releases, and continuous testing.
That sounds intense. How do they make sure they're building the right thing with such a rapid pace?
One of the key practices in XP is the use of user stories. Instead of relying on dry technical specifications, user stories capture user needs in plain language, creating a shared understanding between developers and customers.
So it's like having a conversation with the user, understanding their needs and pain points, and then translating that into software features.
Exactly. A user story might be, as an online shopper, I want to be able to filter products by price range so I can easily find items within my budget. This approach ensures the software directly addresses the user's needs. XP also strongly emphasizes practices like pair programming, where two developers work together on the same code, and test-driven development, where tests are written before the code to ensure quality from the get-go.
It sounds like collaboration and quality are baked right into the XP process. Now, our sources mention 6 distinct phases in XP: planning, analysis, design, execution, wrapping, and closure. Is that right?
Yes, those phases are part of the XP lifecycle. However, it's important to understand that XP is highly iterative. The team doesn't just go through these phases once. They cycle through them repeatedly throughout the project, incorporating feedback and adapting to changes as they go.
So it's not like a linear progression. It's more like a spiral, with each loop through the phases refining the product further.
Exactly. That iterative nature allows for continuous feedback and adjustments, which is a key benefit of Agile. During the execution phase, XP emphasizes unit testing, where developers test individual components of the software in isolation.
So it's like checking each ingredient before you bake the cake.
Yes, by testing individual units before integrating them with other parts of the system, you can catch bugs early and prevent them from cascading into bigger problems later on.
Okay. We've got Scrum, which provides a solid framework, and XP, which is all about speed and customer integration. But our sources also mention another methodology called Kanban. From what I'm gathering, Kanban seems much more free-flowing.
If Scrum is like a structured dance, and XP is a rapid-fire game of ping pong, then Kanban is more like a smooth-flowing river.
I like that analogy. What are the key principles of this flowing river approach?
Kanban is about visualizing the workflow, limiting work in progress to avoid bottlenecks, and continuously improving the flow of value to the customer. One of the interesting things about Kanban is that while prioritization is key in Scrum with its time-boxed iterations, it's optional in Kanban.
So Scrum emphasizes structure and rhythm, while Kanban emphasizes flexibility and flow.
Yes, they each have their strengths. Scrum excels when you need predictability and structure, especially for projects with clear deadlines and well-defined requirements. Kanban shines when flexibility and responsiveness to change are paramount, especially for projects with evolving requirements or unpredictable workloads. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
That makes sense. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, right? But even with all this talk about different methodologies, it seems like the core principles of Agile embracing change, customer-focused continuous improvement, remain consistent.
Absolutely. No matter which Agile methodology you choose, those principles are at the heart of it. And speaking of understanding how a team is performing, our sources also mention Agile metrics.
Yes, the numbers. But don't worry, we won't drown you in spreadsheets. Just enough to give you an idea of how Agile teams track their progress. What are some of the key metrics to keep an eye on?
One that stands out is drag factor. It measures the effort that's not contributing to the sprint goal, like unnecessary meetings or tasks that don't add value.
So it's like identifying the things that are slowing the team down, kind of like friction or resistance.
Exactly. Reducing drag factor is key to improving efficiency. Another important metric is velocity, which measures how much work a team can realistically complete in a sprint.
So velocity helps us understand the team's sustainable pace, kind of like knowing your car's average speed, allowing for better planning and forecasting.
Right, precisely. And remember, velocity is not about pushing people to their limits, but finding a rhythm that consistently delivers quality work.
Our sources mention other metrics too, like the number of bugs found, unit tests added, and the time taken for daily builds.
Yes, those are important as well. By tracking these metrics, teams can identify bottlenecks, areas for improvement, and ultimately deliver better software faster. But it's not just about the numbers themselves. It's about what they tell us about the process and how we can continuously improve it.
It sounds like Agile metrics are more than just numbers. They're a way to understand the team's performance, identify areas for improvement, and make data-driven decisions.
You've got it. Agile metrics are not about micromanaging or penalizing teams. They are about fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement. They provide valuable data points that can help teams learn from their experiences, adapt their processes, and ultimately deliver better software faster.
So it's not about, punishing people for low velocity or high drag factor. It's about understanding the underlying causes and working together as a team to improve the process overall.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about, fostering a learning environment where teams feel empowered to experiment, to iterate, and to continuously improve. The agile metrics are simply a tool for facilitating that growth and ensuring the team is moving in the right direction.
That's a great way to put it. It's about empowering teams to take ownership of their process, identify those areas for improvement, and work together to achieve better outcomes.
Absolutely. It's a collaborative journey where everyone is working towards a common goal, delivering that high-quality software that meets the customer's needs.
Okay, we spent a good amount of time talking about Scrum XP and Kanban, but you sent over some info on a few other Agile methodologies as well. One that I thought was interesting is Crystal. What can you tell us about that one?
Crystal is interesting because it's actually a family of methodologies, each one tailored to different project complexities. The idea is to choose the lightest weight process that fits the project's needs, emphasizing teamwork, communication, and frequent delivery.
So it's kind of like that saying, it's all about the people, not the process, but with a more nuanced approach. Precisely, Crystal acknowledges that process is still important, but it shouldn't overshadow the human element. It recognizes that people are the heart of any successful project, and building those strong relationships is crucial for effective collaboration.
Our sources also mention DSDM, which stands for Dynamic Systems Development Method. It sounds pretty intense.
The name might sound a little intimidating, but DSDM is all about delivering business value quickly. It emphasizes active user involvement, frequent delivery-empowered teams, and a focus on delivering fit-for-purpose solutions.
So it's about being agile in the truest sense of the word, adapting to change and prioritizing what matters most to the business.
Exactly. DSDM is particularly well suited for projects where time to market is critical and where those requirements are likely to change. It's all about striking that balance between speed and quality, ensuring that the delivered product meets the business's needs without compromising on those essential features or functionality.
Another one that popped up in the materials you sent over is feature-driven development, or FDD. It seems very well feature-focused. Is that the main idea?
You're exactly right. FDD, as the name suggests, revolves around designing and building features. Unlike some other Agile methods that might break down work into smaller tasks, FDD emphasizes delivering complete working features.
So it's like building a house brick by brick, but instead of bricks, we're talking about fully functional features.
That's a great analogy. FDD prioritizes building a solid foundation with well-defined features that are delivered in a timely and efficient manner. Each feature adds tangible value to the product and is thoroughly tested before it's considered done.
And last but not least, we've got lean software development. Lean always makes me think of minimalist design or like a healthy diet. How does that concept apply to software?
Lean software development borrows principles from the lean manufacturing methodology, which originated in the manufacturing industry. It focuses on eliminating waste and maximizing value in production processes.
So how does that translate to software development?
It's all about streamlining the development process, reducing unnecessary work, and delivering value to the customer as quickly and efficiently as possible. This could mean cutting down on unnecessary documentation meetings or features that don't directly contribute to the user's needs.
So it's like decluttering your development process, getting rid of anything that's not adding value and optimizing the workflow for maximum efficiency.
Exactly. Lean software development encourages teams to continuously identify and eliminate waste in all its forms. The goal is to create a lean, mean, value-delivering machine.
So we've now covered a whole spectrum of agile methodologies, from the highly structured Scrum to the more free-flowing Kanban, and even the specialized approaches of Crystal, DSDM, FDD, and Lean. It's clear that Agile isn't a one-size-fits-all approach.
You're absolutely right. It's about choosing the right methodology or combination of practices that best suits the project and the team. But no matter which flavor of Agile you choose, the core principles remain the same. Embracing change, prioritizing customer value, and continuous improvement.
It's like having a diverse toolkit. You wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail, right? You need to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each tool and select the one that's most appropriate for the task at hand.
Exactly. And just like with any tool, practice and experience are key to using it effectively.
We've also talked about how Agile metrics can act like a dashboard, providing insights into a team's performance. Why are these metrics so important, and what can we learn from them?
Agile metrics are crucial because they provide those valuable insights into team performance and process efficiency. They help identify bottlenecks areas for improvement and ultimately guide the team towards continuous improvement.
It's like having a fitness tracker for your development process, allowing you to monitor your progress and identify areas where you can optimize your performance.
That's a great way to think about it. By tracking metrics like drag factor, we can identify activities that are slowing down the team and draining those resources. And by monitoring velocity, we can gain a better understanding of the team's capacity and make more accurate predictions about future sprints. Those insights are invaluable for making informed decisions, improving efficiency, and delivering value to the customer more effectively.
It sounds like Agile metrics are more than just numbers. They're a way to understand the team's performance, identify areas for improvement, and make data-driven decisions.
You've hit the nail on the head. Remember, Agile metrics are not about micromanaging or penalizing teams. They're about fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and continuous improvement.
So it's not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about using data to understand what's working, what's not, and how to continuously improve the process.
Exactly. It's about creating a learning environment where teams feel empowered to experiment, to iterate, and continuously improve. Agile metrics are simply a tool to help facilitate that growth.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the core principles of Agile to the nuances of different methodologies and the importance of metrics. It's clear that Agile is a very powerful approach to software development, but it's also a journey of continuous learning and adaptation. What's one key takeaway you'd like our listener to walk away with?
What I find most compelling about Agile is its emphasis on human interaction, collaboration, and continuous improvement. It's not just about following a set of rules. It's about fostering a culture of transparency, adaptability, and customer focus.
That's a great point. It's about embracing that human element in software development, recognizing that people are at the heart of every successful project.
Absolutely. It's about building strong teams, fostering open communication, and creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute their best work. And it's about recognizing that the journey is just as important as the destination. We're constantly learning, adapting, and improving along the way.
That's a very powerful insight. And it's not just limited to software development, right? These principles can be applied to any field where collaboration, adaptability, and customer focus are key to success.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
Think about project management marketing, even personal productivity. Agile principles can be adapted and applied to a wide range of contexts, helping individuals and teams achieve their goals more effectively.
That's a powerful thought. It's about taking those best aspects of Agile, adaptability, collaboration, continuous learning, and applying them to any area of your life where you want to be more effective.
Precisely. It's about embracing change,
Right.
prioritizing value, and continuously improving. It's a mindset, a way of approaching challenges and opportunities with flexibility and a commitment to growth.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Agile, I'd love to leave you with a final thought. Imagine taking these principles, adaptability, collaboration, continuous learning, and applying them not just to projects, but to your own mindset.
That's a brilliant point. Agile is more than just a set of methodologies. It's a way of thinking, a philosophy for navigating a world that's constantly changing.
Exactly. What if we approached our goals, our relationships, even our own self-improvement with that same Agile spirit? Embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and adapt, viewing feedback as a gift, and constantly seeking ways to improve, to iterate, to evolve.
That's the power of Agile thinking. It's about embracing a growth mindset, seeing every experience, every success, every setback as a chance to learn and become a better version of ourselves.
Precisely. And that's a journey worth taking no matter what field you're in or what goals you're pursuing.
Yeah. It really has been a fascinating exploration. We've gone from Agile being this kind of abstract concept to seeing how its principles and the various methodologies can be applied in so many different ways.
It is amazing how adaptable collaboration and continuous improvement can resonate across so many different fields.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Agile, I want to leave you with a challenge. We've talked about applying Agile principles to projects and work, but what about applying them to your personal life?
Ooh, now that's a thought-provoking idea. Right. Think about it. What if we approached our personal goals, relationships, or even just our own self-improvement with that same Agile mindset?
It's like viewing life as a series of sprints, constantly iterating and improving based on the feedback and experiences that we have.
Exactly.
Mm.
What would it look like to embrace challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, to view feedback not as criticism, but as valuable information, to constantly be seeking ways to become a better version of ourselves?
I think that's the beauty of adopting an Agile mindset. It's not just about work, it's about a way of life, a way of approaching the world with curiosity, openness, and a commitment to continuous growth.
So there you have it. Our deep dive into Agile has taken us from the intricacies of Scrum and XP to the broader philosophy of embracing change and continuous improvement. It's a powerful set of tools and ideas that can transform not just software development, but how we approach any challenge in life.
It's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you.
The pleasure was all ours. And remember, this is just the beginning of your Agile journey. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep embracing the power of Agile. Thanks for diving in with us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.